Hi, this is Andy Frith from Sheffield Advanced Motorcyclists, out with Andy Tune on his fourth or fifth ride, I believe. We've just come out of Meadowhall Retail Park and approaching some traffic lights on the dual carriageway here, which is slow riding to. You've got stationary vehicles ahead, but you just about do it. You're having to brake there, and you get a slight wobble on. The point here, which we talked on debrief, is checking the mirrors. You're not bulking any cars. There's only me behind you. You can afford to really roll off and give yourself plenty of time, and you don't even get close to having to brake or wobble. Approaching the Brinsworth roundabout here, we talked about lane of least resistance. We're turning right at this roundabout, so you're taking the offside position. But you've got a car in front of you and road markings on the left that say straight ahead or right, so that would have been the lane to take. Because we got held up behind that, we could have been past it and then round, made more progress. So we go onto the dual carriageway here, and you take up an offside position coming off the roundabout to take this lorry, which is great. But then you move back into the near side. You've got a car in front of you, and again a rear mirror check would have revealed nothing behind me, therefore nothing to balk or hold up, and by staying in the offside you would have got a better commanding position to see what was going on and greater choices to what to do later, because now you've moved back into the offside, so it was an unnecessary movement. Looking ahead, you've got this vehicle in the near side lane, which is presumably going straight ahead. You've also got two vehicles in the centre lane, which is also the straight ahead lane, and here's your decision: do I queue up behind those vehicles, or do I cut into the left and try and get round them through the lane of least resistance? Close call, this one, because I don't like switching lane at the last minute, but again, a good look around here. Am I moving into the path of anything? Would have revealed nothing there, and it might have just given you the edge. This was a good run up the hill to these traffic lights here, which you decided to filter on. I couldn't follow you because of my panniers. It was a bit tight, and although it was done okay, you do need to think about what are those drivers thinking by somebody squeezing through. Just sort of, is it my paint, my wing? You set off up the road and again moved into the near side, and then got a little bit boxed in by the weight of traffic. Again, rear mirror check. Is there anything I'm holding up? No. An offside position would have been good because you had to wait for that Porsche to pass you, and then you decided to move across, and then the Porsche brakes. So I don't know whether you gained anything by being in the offside after he'd overtaken you anyway. It might have been better on the near side. This one here, a bit of slow riding up to this traffic, which was fine, but then an acceleration, he pulls into the right, and you sort of like move to the left. Better just letting him get away and declare his intention. Something's hit the camera lens here, some bug or a bit of oil or road film, and it spoiled the image a little bit, but I wanted to put this in because this was a good section. This was after Maltby, on the way to Tig Hill, and I really like the way you positioned the bike on these bends. Unusually, it was clear for us. Usually there's traffic on this section. Little bit of a wobble there, and I don't know whether it was because of the road surface, because there's another section earlier on, and again I think you saw the oncoming and thought, oh, my line. So what I'm deducing from this is you need to get your gaze up and not just look at the bend, but at what's coming right down the road, so you can pick your line. Mentioning road surface, this was good. This was a good section down here, but there's another bend where there's a patch of repaired tarmac, and I wonder whether you were caught out a little bit by it, because you sort of moved your line again mid-bend, and better to be looking at the road surface from a distance so you can pick your line. I think it might be just round this one, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, there we go. You got oncoming, and you were right on the join, and you wanted to push sideways but into the path of that oncoming, so you're looking at what's coming down the road in the distance, but you're also looking at the road surface and taking in all the hazards well in advance of what you're doing. you wouldn't have done this last week. You actually allowed this van to turn left. You'd have gone out, but you braked, and as it was turning, you started accelerating again just towards him, and you hadn't quite cleared that corner. So when you've done that, all that work, and rolled off or braked, we'll just let the situation develop so that you're not rolling into another dangerous situation. This was on the way to Scunthorpe, and again, I'm sorry for the film on the camera. It's blocking really this section. But later on, you'll get the idea. We came up against a bus or people carrier, bus I think, small bus, that you wanted to get by, and I could see that you wanted to get by. And what we're talking about here is the following position, that you get yourself up into an overtaking position, but that limits the view you get. This has been a recurring theme in previous rides. By staying back, you get a much better view of what's coming up, and then you can really pick your moment when you want to gently accelerate towards the vehicle into an overtaking position, because you know what's coming. Here, you don't know what's coming, and you see how you're having to crane your neck to have a look, and then we've got an oncoming then, oh let's have another look now, oh, there's another oncoming, and you can't quite see. But by dropping back a few feet to, not quite where I am, but in between us both, your view will open up considerably again, another crane of the neck to see what's around there. And it doesn't look in control, it looks as though you're frustrated and you're trying to get past, and you're accelerating, then you're decelerating. Really force yourself to come back, get the big picture, be able to look down the near side and the offside at the same time, and get a really good idea of what's going on. Look at how that driver's driving, and pick your moment. I mean, as it happens, we followed this for quite a while, and there never was a moment, and yet all the time you've spent, and I can see you're looking for it, but you could do it in a much more relaxed way. Lots of accelerating towards the rear of the vehicle in the hope that there'll be an opportunity, and then rolling off and slowing right down when there wasn't, whereas you could just sit and observe, and by slight movements of the bike get your view. This is where you did do it. We discussed this on debrief, and you asked was it okay, and I came to the conclusion that it was, because it was slow off the mark. You'd got this garage on the right hand side, but we hadn't gone past the entrance before you'd done it. I thought that was alright, and I thought it was appropriate. Couple of overtakes here, excellent. Into the hatch markings, check your view, yes it's safe, let's go. It was slow away from the roundabout, and that was just really nicely done. Good example of a good overtake. Another one here, although you can't see your bike very well here, but moving out, because you've got your view, so you go out, last minute check, and accelerate and gone. Good overtakes, and it's really coming together now, this. And I think this was another example. Again, can't quite see your bike because of this blob on the lens, but moving out, checking the view, yeah, it was really good. A very good ride, forward planning, really looking to the distance, checking everything. Good stuff.